everybody, it's Darby from rejoiceandcreate.com, and I have another Back to Basics project for you today, which means that yes, you can make it without any special tools. And what it is this little cute box. And it's based after a carrot box, and it is a four-sided carrot box. And I thought they were really cute, so I went ahead and make one simply without using a whole bunch of extra things, dies, templates, and I'll show you how that's done. I do have a couple other examples that I made, and yes, I realize that they're pink, but you know, who says carrots can't be pink? And this one I haven't embellished yet, but I went ahead and tied a bow on the top because I think that's really adorable. Now, one thing you'll notice on the top is that some of them, the petals only go halfway across, but on this one, the petal actually overlaps, so it goes farther than halfway across. So however you want to close it, if you want to do like the closure where you just pop the petals in, then I'll show you how to measure that one when we get to that point. And if you want to do an overlap, or even if you want to fold it up, you can do that as well. So it's all up to you how you want to finish it. Now I started with a square piece of paper, and for these little guys, which are probably just about 4 and maybe over 1/4 inch long, and the top of the box, the square, is about 1 3/4 inches square. I started with a 6 by 6 piece of paper, but you can start with any size. It doesn't matter because we're not measuring. All right, so let's just go ahead and dive right in. All right, now I'm going to actually make 2 of these because I'm going to show you the difference in the tops. So we'll go ahead and work along with 2 different ones. All right, so the first thing that you do is you take one of your sides and you fold it in about 1/2 inch. This is not an exact measurement, and as long as that line is straight, you're good. So fold one edge in about 1/2 inch. If you want to score it at this point on your scoreboard and fold it over, that's fine, but as I said, it doesn't have to be exact. All right, so let's go ahead and start this one first. This is our folded side, and what we're going to do is, to this folded side, we're going to bring the attached edge, free edge, and go ahead and fold that over in a triangle. The biggest point to this is to get the point right. Just make sure you have it folded right on the point and that your sides are even. Okay, now we'll take that same edge and fold it back to this new fold that we just created. Again, the point is probably the most important part. Just make sure you got your point down to the end. So take a moment and get that even. Okay, and then on this other side, because this is going to interfere, I'm just going to fold this back the other way for the moment. And then this fold is going to go to this fold. And again, just care for the point. All right, go ahead and score that well. Okay, so this is what I have right now. Now you'll notice as I fold it over that there is a shortest side. This one's higher, this one's shorter. This short side is what we're going to measure everything to. So go ahead and measure from the point to where that is. So from the point right to this edge is about 5 3/8. You could measure the same if you don't want it quite that long, you're fine with that, but just go ahead and measure whatever measurement you want on this side, measure over to here. So I'm going to try to make it as long as I possibly can, which is the 5 1 2 3/8. So let's go ahead and measure on the other side as well. And we're going to make a little mark. 1 2 3 5 3/8. And then we're going to take our scissors. Let me fold that blue tab back over, and we're going to cut from this short side to that mark we just made, straight across. Okay, so this is what we have. All right, let me get the other one caught up to this stage, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have both of them at the same stage now. And the one more thing you want to do right now is just go ahead and squish this all together, including the tab, and you'll see that the tab kind of sticks out. Just cut that right along the edge of the folded line. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually make the closure of the top. So if you want the top to close where the petals kind of interlock, this part has to be half the distance of the complete part. So it have to meet in the center basically. So that has to be half the distance of all the way across. So what you want to do that at that point is to close this all together and to measure straight across here. So it's 2 1/8 of an inch. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that this is just halfway down from there. So at a point, just straight along the axis, which means just straight up the cone, and it doesn't have to be exact, I'm going to measure down 1 1/16 of an inch, which is just halfway across the top. And I've got that right here. And what I'm going to do is parallel to the top, I'm just going to fold that down right at that mark. So just parallel to the top, right at that mark, fold it over. Okay. So I have my line, it's right across there. And what I'm going to do is from that score line out, I'm just going to cut a straight line right along the axis, not along the sides of either of the angled sides, but just right straight along an imaginary axis right down the center of the cone, parallel to. Okay, got that one, and let me do it on that one too. And this is what you have. Okay, this is our glue tab. We don't need that extra piece on the end, so I'm going to take a moment and just angle cut that. And now you want to get these rounded somehow. I found the easiest way to round them would be actually to measure it and use a circle punch. So let me show you on this one a circle punch, and on the next one I'll show you rounding the corners. Okay, so this one's just 1 5/8, and I have a 1 3/4 inch circle punch, so that's what I'm going to use. All right, so I have my 1 3/4 inch circle punch, and what I'm going to do is to just slide this into the cutting surface. And because I've got 2 of them, sometimes it's hard to get them all in there. So my trick that I do is I actually get a scrap piece or another piece of cardstock and I push it up from this way. And this shows me exactly where the cutting surface is. And then I'll just slide this on the top until I get it right in that cutting surface. And what I'm going to do is right where that end sticks in, and keep the axis of my cone parallel. You know, it sounds a lot more complicated than it is. I'm hoping as you see it, it is really not that complicated. So you want that score line parallel to the edge, and you want the axis of the cone parallel to the side. Okay, and that's what it gives you. And let's do that on the other ones too. So again, I'm pushing these up. Let me get those out of the way. Again, I'll push this up to make it easier for me to get my tabs in. Put that down. Line it up. Axis of the cone parallel to the sides. Score line parallel to the end. Pull this extra piece out and punch. Okay, so let's go ahead and make all of these folds now mountain folds. And then we'll glue it together. And I'm going to use some Tombow Extreme, but make sure you get some glue all the way down to the end too, because that'll hold the bottom of your cone together the best. So make sure it's sticky all the way down, fold it over to line it up. Okay, you can see on mine, it actually goes slightly more than halfway across. So I'm going to have to repunch that, and you can do that at this point. It's not a problem. Just go ahead and squish it back out, get your punch back out, and do the same thing. Just take off a little bit of the edge. Okay, so this should fit a little bit better if you want to do the petal cone one. Fold those a bit better. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yep, see that's right across. So go ahead and lift that last one and tuck that in. And you have a petal cone. All right, now how I did this one is I just went ahead and punched on one of my petals, the one I wanted to be the top, except for I did this one wrong because there's the seam. So put the seam on the bottom and then punch the one on the top. And I punched it right in the center where the knot on the inside wouldn't interfere with the other petals closing, so it was kind of right in the center of that one. So let me show you what I did there. See, this is my seam. Let's get it to the back so I don't get the same mistake again. If I close these like this, I can see right where I could punch and it wouldn't interfere. And let me punch it and put a ribbon in. Now I like big poofy ribbons because I think that they make the carrot look really cute. You could tie a bow on the top and then you need a little more. You could just do it straight and then you'll need a little less. But one thing I do is I'll tie a knot in the middle and I will feed both of my points through at the same time. And that is easier for me to do, especially if I'm using a smaller hole. If you want to use a bigger hole, you may be able to fold, send them through separately. And I just snug it up like that. And then when you close it one next to there first. 1, 2, 3, and then pop that one down and it's closed. And I think that's pretty cute. Now it's a little bit wiggly until you get something into it and then it won't be so wiggly. And it will fit one Ferrero Rocher, or it'll fit up to 5, 6. It'll fit about 6. Actually, I had up to 8 of them in there at one time if you really kind of fit them down Tetris style. But 6 to 8 kisses in there as well. And of course you can fit some chapsticks and, you know, little other goodies as well. Little mini pens. So, all right, so once I get my Ferrero in there, I'm going to go ahead and put these down. And you can see that once you get it filled, this one will sit a lot sturdier. Okay, and I think that's really cute. And then you just go ahead and put your little sentiment on there. You can put a tag on there, or I used one from the A Good Day stamp set. I'm not sure if that's retired or not, but I thought it was rather cute. You know, certainly use what you have. Okay, for the kind of closure that overlaps a little bit, what you want to do is to do the same thing to close it together, but then when you fold it over, you want to measure a little bit down because we don't want to cut it too short. So about 1 inch down, measure it across. It's about 1 3/4 of an inch here. So we want to go about 1 inch, will overlap it nicely. So again, along the axis of the cone, right kind of in the center of the cone, doesn't have to be perfect. Go ahead and put that down and measure about 1 inch down and make a mark. All right, so again, a lot parallel to the top, we're going to fold that. And you know if you're parallel, if you have the same amount sticking out on both sides, press that down. If you want to go both ways, you can. Okay, again, along the parallel to the center, go ahead, just cut from the score lines out to the edge, both sides. Open that up. Our glue tab top we don't need, so just slightly angle it. You want to get a nice glue tab in there. Make these all mountain folds. And we're going to glue it together. Let me get my silicone mat so I can make sure I glue all the way down to the edge. Or you can use liquid glue. All right, let's fold that over, line it up, and fold it back the other way, and press that down. Okay, we got that now. All right, now you'll see we are overlapped, so we're good. Just go ahead and round the corners now. And I'll get my corner rounder. Okay, so open it up. We'll tuck the two opposites down. This one will go down and this one will go down. And you see that they do overlap a bit. Probably not enough to bend them upward. If you want to actually go and bend them up, like I have an example right here. This is an exaggerated example. You need to overlap it a lot more. But these are just enough so that I can punch a hole on one side and then punch it on the other side. So let me make a mark here just so I know how far I can go. And I'm going to punch a hole kind of right in the center of the flap, side to side, and between the edge of the flap and that mark is where I'm going to make my punch. And then I'll fold that over onto the opposite flap and make a mark. And that's where I'll punch. Like that. And they line up. Now you can actually do all four of them if you want to, so you can thread them through all four and close it that way, which makes a really nice closure. I'm just going to do the two for the time being. All right, so here's my back. Let me go ahead and tie the knot in the middle of my ribbon. I put both my points through at the same time. I find it easier that way. And put it through, let's see, which one's going to be on top. Where is my seam? My seam is right there, so this one will be on top. So I'm going to put it through the bottom one first. Thread that through. And then you would fill it, whatever you want to fill it with, close it up, and you can thread the top part through too. And again, I do both tabs, both points at once, but you could do it however is easiest for you. You can even punch a bigger hole if you want to. I just like the fact that the poofy ribbon will kind of hold itself without tying if you use a smaller hole. Just be careful not to tear as you're pulling your ribbon through. There we go. Okay, so that's this one. And of course you can use a longer ribbon, tie in a bow if you want to as well. And then just go ahead and put your little decoration on there. Let me go ahead and so there's that one. Let me bring all my carrots back. There's that one. This one has a Frere Rocher in it. This is a bow on top example. And this one's just some nice crinkle ribbon sitting out there. And here's my last one. So whether you want the petals to be like overlapping petal closure, or you want the petals to be overlapped a little bit so you can pull a ribbon through, or you want the closure to be overlapping a lot so you can actually fold them up and put two of them together, to which you have to trim off a little bit the two that fold inside. You can do whatever you want. So I hope you enjoyed the project today. A back to basics, no special tools, carrot box for Easter, or I suppose you can use it as a tree for Christmas too. If you liked the video, please subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to be notified of new videos as I upload them. For more information, please go to rejoiceandcreate.com. And as always, until we meet again, I hope your days are blessed. Bye!